Totem pole, 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 totem pole.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
There's nothing I can see. You have to learn just like me, and that's the hardest way. I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was younger, I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was stronger, I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was younger, I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was stronger.
Alexa, off. I wish I knew what I know now when I was younger. I wish I knew what I know now when I was stronger. I wish I knew now that I hadn't pressed the live button and started this show 5 minutes ago. Howard, what did you wish that you knew now when you were younger?
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff, but the main thing I think is if I could go back and talk to 12-year-old me, I think I would explain that in life you're gonna have ups and downs.
Ooh.
And life is not always an upward trajectory.
Ooh.
And when you are doing well, you got to appreciate that. You got to have gratitude for that. And you also got to save your money because the day might come when you're not doing so well.
Ooh.
So I think that's what I would go back and tell my younger self, that, and don't ever work for anybody that long without getting any equity in their firm.
Wow. MK, good morning. Ben, good morning. JB, good morning. MK.
MK is in the house. MK is in the house. MK is in the house.
Brandon Toms from South Carolina. Coach Bald, we had started the show and gone on 5 minutes and got called an idiot by Lambo. What do you wish you would have known now when you were younger? I think your mic, we can't hear you.
Unmute your mic.
Good Lord.
There you go. We live.
Good
Sorry
Lord.
about that.
We're live.
Yeah, man. I just think that, talking to your best friend, talking to your coach, a lot of time that's really, all you need, and that's the thing, you're like yesterday with the podcast, man. As soon as I turned it on, I knew what was up. I could see the look in your eyes, and I knew that, I just knew that I saw through the smile on your face, you know what I mean? And I saw the pain in your eyes and everything with what happened with Coach and everything. There's so many things, it's such a deep question. The thing, I guess just, the things I learned from my coaches, I wish I would have listened to them a lot harder. I wish I would have gotten into coaching a lot sooner, but hey, man, it's never too late. There's 70-year-olds starting their lives sometimes. There's 60-year-olds attacking diets. There's 50-year-olds starting a new career. I'm venturing into some new territory. I'm venturing into nutrition and personal training, just to add it to my resume and add it to my repertoire. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of these guys that is just good at one niche, be well-rounded. But I mean, and that's the thing too, since we've been doing this, seeing Lambo just explode and to see him just doing his thing, and it's been phenomenal. I see the man. I told you, Coach Taylor, before, this dude is growing up right in front of us. He is a monster that only he can tame. Luckily, he listens to us every once in a while. But I agree with him, Coach. Earlier this morning, we went live and we didn't go live. Hey, he might have been right with what he said, but I still love you, Buck.
Yes. Is that water running, or are you frying bacon?
It is raining. It is raining, but here at Totem Pole Nation,
I
rain, sleet, hail, hurricane, tornado, we are the low man on the pole. We will find a place
I thought
to keep
somebody
it
would
going.
shower.
He likes that cold shower. You might just jump in the pool and shower.
Hey, that's the way you're supposed to start off every day, to be honest with you. Take your shower in the last 5 minutes, blast that cold water, and change up your central nervous system.
He don't even like to use hot water. You use just cold, don't you, Coach
Yeah,
Paul?
See,
that's correct.
I can't
And
the entire shower.
yeah, hey man, I tell you what, I've been listening to a lot of Wim Hof. Listen to Wim Hof, man. Listen to his podcast. I'll send it to you. But
I got
he
I got
triggers it.
if you're experiencing anxiety, a cold shower in the morning is one of the best you can do for yourself.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And he kind
Now
of triggers it to
you might
that it's one of the it's difficult. It's difficult to go through because your mind has always had that hot shower. But if you can get through that, you'll be able to get through other difficult times. But that one is just a huge shock. And that's one of the things I learned from my main man from Soul, Crystal Ball Paul, is if you can be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, life tends to slow down and it becomes a little bit easier.
that's
So
my favorite things right there is that learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Paul, what do you wish
Yes, sir.
that you know now that you wish you would have known when you were younger?
If you
Oh,
could go,
that's an easy one.
if you could go back and speak to 15-year-old Paul, what would you tell him and what would your advice be?
Buy real estate everywhere you go as soon as possible.
McDonald's is not a restaurant company. They are a real estate company. They buy the best real estate. Have you ever seen a McDonald's go out of business?
No.
Kelly Keegan says, buy real estate at 15. Great advice. Genius.
Oh, okay. So
Kelly Keegan says, buy real estate at 15.
no. Okay, no. I'm sorry. For a 15-year-old, 15-year-old, just like I would tell. Look, it's the same advice I would give a fresh high school freshman and sophomore. Spend 80% of your time on schoolwork, 20% of your time on other activities. Because the GPA you build as a freshman and sophomore are who you are as a junior and senior. That's who you are.
Keegan says, here's real advice. Be born rich.
Well, Kelly, a lot of people marry for love. You can always try to marry for money.
That's what my high school coach, Ron Paulette, told me. He said, don't marry for love, marry an old rich woman?
You can always find love.
Can money buy love, Paul? Howard?
No, I know a lot of people that are millionaires that are not.
Lambo, if you could go back and talk to the 15-year-old Lambo, what would you tell him? What advice would you give him?
Maybe I could have gotten focused. Maybe I could have been a content creator when I was 15, and maybe I could have every time I get a paycheck, not spend all of it. Spending habits.
Man, that's good advice. Every time you get a paycheck, don't spend all of it. MK's quote of the day: in the midst of my disappointment, I am never defeated, only given the opportunity to rise again, willing to take on new challenges. Thank you very much. And look who it is. It is Dylan, and Dylan is the newest official member of Totem Pole.
Dylan is in the house. Dylan is in the house. Dylan is in the house.
And MK, chomp chomp, you're a true friend, MK. I'll tell you why. Because when Dylan got his intro, you were happy for him. That's the signs of being a good teammate. Morning, Dylan. Happy Wednesday, MK. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan said, chomp chomp. If I could go back and talk to my 15-year-old self, I would say this, and I tell all my students this: you're just as smart as everyone else. Just because your dad dropped out of high school in 10th grade and went into the Marine Corps, and your mom graduated from Hopewell High School and was a waitress and a bank teller, dropped out of high school in 10th. When I was in middle school, Howard, I used to look on other people's tests. You know, when they gave us those standardized tests?
Yeah,
And I would think, oh, that person's smarter than me. 10 is A.
They call that
11
cheating,
B.
right?
But I was too stupid to realize that the test was different. The questions were different and the answers were different. I used to wait to get the Sports Illustrated in the morning. I mean, every year when the swimsuit edition. That's right, Heidi Klum. I was a big Tyra Banks fan. I was too stupid to realize that they had filters in Photoshop. That's what I would tell myself. Troy, you're just as smart as everybody else. And you look just like everybody else. The people that are on screens, the people that are in magazines, women really don't look like that. Dylan, I definitely would have did a few things differently if I could turn back time. Alexa, play Turn Back Time.
If I could turn back time and similar songs on Amazon Music.
Sure.
Who? Shark?
Is that Cher?
Back time.
If I could find a way, take back those words that you say. I don't know why I did the things I did.
Alexa, pause.
Alexa,
How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Kelly Keegan, thank you, Kelly, for being a part of Totem Pole. You have had some of the best comments today. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, the first million is the hardest. So skip it and start with the second million.
well, I heard a quote recently that I like, and it talks about, the pressure we put on kids to succeed and everything. Really, this made a lot of sense to me that your 20s should be for exploring and figuring out what you want to do and finding the right place for yourself. And your 30s is when you should really start focusing on money and things like that.
Shronky, what is this stream? People caught by Chris Hansen. I think that's you, because you know who Chris Hansen is. They not like us. They not like us. You must be down with Drake. We're
Don't
down
know
with
nothing
Big
about
Hot.
that. Don't
Yeah.
know nothing about that.
Fuel, thanks for commenting. Shronky, this is life lessons. Thank you, MK. Coach Bald, how does it feel to be back on life lessons?
I love it, man. I love hearing you guys. Y'all are giving amazing advice, life lessons that people are going to learn throughout their lives, man. I mean, y'all are giving good career advice. It's something that you don't see all the time on your regular TV. You guys bring the truth in a pretty suspect world sometimes, and that's what I like. You guys are real. Y'all are legit. And man, I'm glad to be a part of it. I wish it wasn't raining out here, because I tell you what, the mosquitoes, they'll pull your socks down and bite you around here. It gets that bad here in Florida. But I love talking to you guys, man.
They look like hummingbirds. What's this about? Oh, at the top of the screen, Shronky, it says Life Lessons Podcast. I need advice bad, man. Okay, good. Well, you're at the right place. We'll tell you what not to do. Don't be like us, and don't end up like the guy that had the show Catch a Predator, because he got caught being a predator. And I hope you're not like him, but hey, there's always a Bill Belichick in the world. Things you wish you would have known when you were younger. Here's some advice I'll tell you for free. Don't be poor. Kelly, here's some advice I wish I would have told myself. Troy, some of the best people live in the worst neighborhoods, and some of the worst people live in the best neighborhoods. But just because you're rich don't mean you're bad, and just because you're poor don't mean you're good. It's what's inside you. Life is not lived from the outside in. Life is lived from the inside out. We're the low man on the totem pole. When we pay, we gotta pray that it says approved. It says need to update credit card. When you try to get on YouTube or StreamYard, or need to update credit card at the car wash. Paul, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? I mean, this morning, where are you going?
I'm going to the pharmacy on the base.
And what are you feeling about this conversation we're having?
I was just thinking, I'm proud this morning to be amongst a set of givers and not takers. I really am. That's what I'm thankful for today.
Say that again.
I'm proud to be amongst a bunch of givers and not takers.
Ooh.
And I'm proud of MK for showing how wonderful a teammate she is, and not being selfish and wanting to have her own. The only one to have her intro. That means a whole bunch to me.
Man,
it's the little things that people do that mean a whole lot. It's not the big thing.
What are you thinking, Howard?
I'm just wondering when y'all are going to drive down so we can sit down and have some lunch.
Man from Soul. When is this gonna happen? All right, Shrunk, you made some pretty funny comments. Something about your sister being pregnant. Okay, yeah, that's great. Based off of that, should I buy Bitcoin? If I'm Tom Brady, yes, you should. Buy all the Bitcoin you want, or don't even buy Bitcoin. Buy his coin. Yeah, sure. Pay me for something that ain't real. It's like buying NFTs. We're going to have totem pole NFTs. Really, you're paying for an intro because the intro is what's important. I mean, we have kids coming on here. Do I get an intro? And then you never hear from them again. All they're worried about is the intro. Lambo, what are you feeling? What are you thinking this morning?
I mean, every day is a new day to learn. It's a new day to know something about yourself. Also, it's a new day as far as Total Pole Nation to be together as a team. That's the most important part, is to be together as a team, and you learn new things each and every day. And when it comes down to it, I mean, you only live life once. You got to be able to do things that you love. Don't do things that you don't like doing, because, like I said, if you do something that you don't like doing, you end up suffering. Like I said, we all got the same 24 hours. It's what you do with the 24 hours.
This is what I like to see right here. Will, the dollar isn't real, man. It's currency, not money. Fed is screwing every American. It just ain't the Americans. Will, look on the top of the dollar bill. It says Federal Reserve note. This just ain't in America. Okay, this is everywhere. Then I want to hear from the wizard, the man from Soul. What's on your brain? This is what Dylan wants to know. He wants to hear from the man from Soul with soul, or as Lambo called it, the man from Seall.
Okay, I got something for you. One day I walked into a meeting or a briefing, and this general officer wrote the number 167 on the board. And I said, okay. And he asked, among 300 people, what do you know what that represents? And no one could tell him. He goes, that is the number of hours in a week. If you only work 40 hours, what are you doing with the other 127? I know you have to sleep for 50 something. It was like 56 hours, but that's only 96. So there's 60 something hours in a week. What else are you doing besides working? What else are you doing for yourself? What else are you doing for others? And I started looking. I was like, 167. That can't be. That's an odd number, man, for number of hours in a week. But that's what it is. It's 167. What do you do with the other 60 when you're not working or sleeping? A lot of time.
Yeah. Will, you're into some pretty heavy stuff. I need to talk to you later because I like all this stuff. All right. I don't know much about it, but thank you for commenting. I want to learn more. Dylan said, that's bold. Good question. Coach Ball, what are you feeling?
Yeah, man. Just talking about, being on this group and everything. The thing I've learned over years is that, friendship isn't about who you spend the most time with. It's about who you have the best time with. And I don't see you guys all the time, but I do watch, and I do have great times with you guys, great conversations with you guys that I don't even have with certain family members. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it's all about with building a team, building a good unit. And as a life coach, what you're taught is a lot of times when you get a client You know, people don't open up until open up a little bit and tell them about, your own personal story and stuff like that. And through all you guys, I've heard different stories, different situations that y'all been through. And it's just good to be there to watch you guys' backs, to be side by side, and, just to build this thing the way we're building it. You know what I mean? You guys have been there through a lot of bad stuff. A lot of people haven't seen me lately, and it's because there's some stuff going on that I'm trying to deal with as good as possible, and it's hitting from all angles. But it is, it's soothing. It is, it's therapeutic to listen to you guys bring the truth, tell some hard lessons sometimes. That conversation yesterday, that was a tough one, you know, and that's the thing with, with such a great coach that Coach Waters was, and such a great friend. You should never worry about losing a true friend, because that true friend will always be there. You'll carry them in your heart. So I tell you guys that, always remember that. Coach Waters, he might not be here in the physical, but he's always going to be right in here. And that's what matters the most. And that's why I love this podcast, because we bring that.
Coach Waters told me one time, I was a young coach and I went to a coaching clinic. And I wish I would have thought of this yesterday. He said, that Metzger guy is not that good. He said, LT, if you go to a coaching clinic and you learn one thing, it was worth it. Wow. Facts, Coach Bald, Will, the World Economic Forum is trying to control us. They already are controlling us, bro. They ain't no trying.
Yeah.
Like, I totally agree with what you're saying. They own us, and they want us eating bugs. Bruh, here's the thing I think about eating bugs. We would be better off eating bugs than eating what we're eating. And they want us to think that eating bugs is worse than eating a McDonald's breakfast sandwich. That's what they want us to think, because our food is made with chemicals. Our food is made with factories, in factories, and it's made to make money. It's made to addict us. We would be better off eating crickets. Heart, mind, and soul. Hallelujah. Facts. All the food in the middle aisles are from 10 companies. Bruh, it all comes from one company. Like you said, the Federal Reserve. They own everything. But Howard is a lawyer. Howard is our resident sports agent. Howard, if I could go back and talk to myself, this is what I would say, Howard. What your mom and dad have showed you is real. What you see on TV and what you see in the movies today, what you see on YouTube today, what you see on TikTok today, NWA ain't NWA. They work for the same people Will's talking about. Lil Boosie ain't Little Boosie. Sexy Red ain't Sexy Red. Drake ain't Drake. It's entertainment. It's not real. What is real is you and your coach, Coach Waters, and your dad, and your mom, and your grandma, and your grandpa, and what they believed. Because I had a kid once tell me, he came to me and said, Coach, I don't know if I want to pray. I said, well, dude, that's cool if you don't want to pray. I don't care. I said, but what's your dad believe? He said, my dad believes in prayer. And I said, well, dude, do you love your dad? He said, yeah. I said, do you trust your dad? He said, yeah. I said, well, I would probably trust him because he's older than you. Music industry is demonic. It's bread and circus, same as pro sports. Dude, it's all entertainment. And Bill Best told me when I was at Colorado State, he said, Troy, in the end, all we are is entertainers. I used to wonder when I was a kid, Howard, why would someone lose in professional wrestling? why would you want to lose? Because if you don't go along with the script, you ain't getting paid by Vince McMahon. I don't see nobody going crazy when they lose the Super Bowl. Because if they go crazy when they lose the Super Bowl, they ain't gonna keep getting paid. Howard, you've been behind that curtain. You've seen what it looks like and what it feels like, what it smells like. So Will has all these ideas, which he's probably right. Money rules the world. So what advice would you give somebody? Because you've talked to me. You said that you wish you had done what other agents did. What would you tell the young Howard Shotsky? Have a blessed day, Will.
You know, it goes back to what we talked about yesterday. If you're the one always carrying the extra load, you might need to get yourself out of that situation. And by the same token, if you're working for a company for 10 or 15 or 20 years and you don't feel like you're being compensated in the manner in which you deserve, you got to look around and try to do something about that. And, you know, what I enjoy about, you know, the group we have here is, you know, like yesterday, we needed to lift you up a little bit. And as you guys know, I've been going through a hard time since my wife committed suicide. So this has been a tremendous uplifter for me.
And I just saw Roy Jones's son committed suicide. And a lot of times there's a stigma in suicide, and people, like, whenever I hear a young person, well, they passed away, and they don't say is it a car wreck or, you know, is it a drug overdose? They just don't say. Like, I don't know if that's the best thing, because I was proud of Roy Jones for telling the truth, because people need to know that this is real. And a guy like Roy Jones, who was one of the greatest boxers of all time, who was not born poor, took his own life. So doesn't matter whether you're born poor or rich. Lambo, what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
It doesn't matter if you're born poor or rich, because what difference does that make? I mean, if you want to get into statistical numbers and be very specific, I mean, when people have money, they're not as happy with money. So, and there's also some people that are happy with, you know, less money. It doesn't really matter how much you make, because if you're not helping others, then what's the point of living your life if you're not willing to help others?
Happiness comes from the inside, not the outside. Man from soul, I see that you're listening. You're taking everything in. What are you feeling? You're on mute right now, probably because you're in a doctor's office.
Yeah.
You want to comment later? Howard, what are you
Sure.
feeling? What are you thinking?
I'm wondering what prescription is Paul there for his Viagra?
Yes. Viagra works, from what I've been told. All right. It's Coach Bald. Do y'all prescribe Viagra? I know you do vaginal rejuvenations at St. Pete Rejuvenate, but do y'all do anything with Viagra?
We do not. We do not. But there's information out there, and there's places that are out there. I'm sure you can give them a ring. But yeah, that's one thing we don't We haven't started doing that yet.
That
Appreciate
is
you
that
asking.
your dog behind you?
Yep, that's Malaysia, a little Rottweiler.
Chilling out.
She's
Tell her to get
everybody's favorite.
get the Dolphins, man.
She probably will if I tell her. Malaysia, get the Dolphins. Go get the Dolphins. Go get them. Get them. Malaysia,
Wow.
get them. Get them. Uh-oh. I think she sees one.
Is that Paul that's producing? Is that Paul that is changing the camera angles? That's impressive. Paul, that is amazing. Great production. I mean, you're in a doctor's office and you're producing the show. That's amazing. So, Lambo, do you have to work today?
In 45 minutes.
In 45 minutes. Howard, what advice would you give Lambo about going to work today at Raising Cane's? What can he do? Or what can you tell him that you wish someone would have told you when you were 25 and you were going to work?
I think Lambo's on the right path. I don't think Lambo needs too much advice. You know, he goes in there every day. He works hard. He has a good attitude. He helps out his coworkers. You know, that's the type of person you want to be around.
Amen. Amen. Coach Ball, you're from the hospitality industry. You're a life coach. What would you tell your 25-year-old self if you were in Lambo's position going to work today 45 minutes?
Hey man, just treat regular people like rock stars, and when the rock stars come in there, treat them like regular people, man. Everybody wants to feel special, and yeah, man, make them ask for your name, because that usually means something good. You know, that usually means something good. They're not going to ask for somebody's name that is not doing a good job. You know, they're gonna ask somebody else for that name. Make them ask for your name, man. It's like, that's the thing, man. Doing hospitality as long as I have. You sent me that information on, you know, how to make friends and all that. Listening to that was like going backwards, because I just know that. Like, that's stuff I've learned just over so much time. And when you do that for a job, man, it's natural. It's just a natural, you know, reaction to people and stuff like that.
Chance
So,
Fawcett in the
morning,
house.
Chance.
Dylan says, I agree. Now it's just part of life for him. Raising Cane's are blessed to have him on their clock. Lean, how you doing today? All right. Coach Bald, you want to send us out? St. Pete Rejuvenate? Anything else you want to say?
Huge shout out to St. Pete Rejuvenate. Check us out online. Check out the website, stpeterejuvenate.com, here in St. Petersburg, Florida. You know, we're just trying to change lives, man. We're trying to help people one client at a time. The people that are dealing with anxiety, we're just trying to bring patience to our patients, you know, and love the Life Lessons podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like, share. And yeah, just some personal advice, man. Get outside today, get barefooted and walk through the grass. You need a little nature in your life to ground you sometimes, especially if you're frustrated. Ground yourself. But besides that, man, appreciate you guys. You know,
Man, what a blessing y'all are. Anybody else got something they want to share with Totem Pole Nation before we get off here?
well, there you have it.
Yeah.
To the next episode.
We love y'all.